Is it the coaches, Billy O'Brien and Troy Brown try to take the blame for it, or is it on Mac?
I'd say it's on the team builders because I don't think the talent's good enough. I'd say it's on Mac to some degree because he's awfully limited as a quarterback, and I don't think he's playing well, even with his limitations considered. And then I think because of those two things, it's hard to tell where the coaching is. Like, it's hard to it looks to me like when they come out and the first 15, so to speak, they can look okay. They've looked okay when they've been in some 2-minute situations. But, man, you put them in 3rd and long, and they look completely lost. And so I think because of the limits to the overall talent and the limits the quarterback has, it's hard to tell how much of a problem the coaching is.
What are you hearing on Mac Jones?
I think so. One thing that's really infuriated people there is – People in the building, is the decision making. And they've been sold the smart, efficient, game-managing quarterback, and they're not getting it. The decision making hasn't been good. They see him passing up open receivers. They see things, quite frankly, that you wouldn't see from a quarterback who has those sorts of qualities. So it's not just the physical limitations now. It's also that it doesn't feel like he's really taking the coaching. And that creates a much bigger problem, because if this is who Mac Jones is, and we've seen some of the defiance bubble over in the press conferences, if he's not running the offense as it's prescribed, well, then what do you have? Because it's not like he can put the cape on and be Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. You know what I mean? If you don't have that one part of it, then what do you have?
You have an example.
Yeah, there is one. And so there was a point in the game in the 3rd quarter, it's right here, where Mac Jones checked to a throw to Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki came wide open down the seam. You can see him down there. Mac Jones, as you can see there, tucked the ball and ran with it. And the coaches, I know, were baffled because he checked to that play. That play is designed to go to Gesicki. Gesicki comes wide open down the seam. That thing might be a touchdown. He pats the ball, tucks it, and runs around the corner, scrambles for 3 yards.
Okay, so why is he doing this? I mean,
there are other examples of where he's checked to play. I mean, I think that there's some self-doubt, too, because there are other examples of plays, I'm told, where he's checked to screens and they've gotten blown up. So it's just it's like the wiring's off right now. So it's beyond everything else, the wiring's off. And so when you check to a certain play because you see something and the play works and the receiver is open and all you have to do is pull the trigger and make the throw, and you're tucking the ball and running around the corner for 3 yards, something's not right.
But I say, why is he doing this? Because we all know what he was at Alabama. There's no question that it was.
What's the guy?
He didn't make Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. They made him. I think everybody knows that. There wasn't those guys. What are they going to do without Mac Jones? Nobody said that. So, and then in year 1, he was not. Well,
here's a detail about year 1 though that you guys might not know.
All right,
you guys know the whole thing with Sean McVay and Jared Goff, right, where they would talk to the 15-second cutoff. That's what Josh McDaniels was doing with Mac Jones that first year. So that first year, there was a ton of hand-holding going on. So what you saw in year 1 was akin to what was happening in 2017 and 2018 with Sean McVay and Jared Goff. That works for so long. Eventually, you get to the point where a guy's got to grow beyond that. And I don't think there's been the whole hand-holding on top of it the last 2 years. So I think some of the efficiency and the intelligence, the way the offense was being run the first year in the league for Mac Jones, was actually Josh McDaniels at work. So there are all kinds of elements here that I think are going into it. And I think what exacerbates the whole thing is having to play for 3 different play callers in 3 years.
Felger, this explains why he's calling around asking people. Seriously, asking people for help because he's so used to being told what to do. And he didn't have to tell him what to do in Alabama. Hey, get it to Jalen. Okay, get it to Najee Harris. Get it to Devontae Smith. It seems like he needs to be told what to do.
So it's just gotten so bad, Bert. This is the point of the program where I say it felt like last year they had a young backup that was doing a little something, starting games, winning games, and it was something that they had. If you had said to us last year, at this time last year, if you said Mac Jones is going to completely blow up next year, you would say, okay, well, they have Zappy who showed a little something last year, so at least they have something to go in the next year, and they don't even have him. So that, to me, remains a big frustration.
Yeah, and I think part of it is that Bailey Zappi had he had to grow a lot to play quarterback in the NFL. And when they simplified the offense last year, which I'm going to say something that you guys might not like.
No, I agree with it. Go ahead, say it, please.
I think they had the right idea in 2022.
See?
I think it was executed poorly. I think trying to co-opt Kyle Shanahan's offense was a really bad idea. But I think that their offense had become way too complicated while Tom Brady was the quarterback. At some point, they were going to have to untangle it because what it created was an environment where the net that you were casting for talent was way too narrow.
I understand. What does that do with Zappe?
They simplified the offense a lot last year, and it worked for Bailey Zappe because he was coming from a paint-by-number.
Why don't they go back to a simple offense and try him again? Because
and maybe they should.
It can't possibly be worse than what we're seeing.
And maybe they should. But
I mean, now it's too late. But
But they build an offense for Matt. Then they go back and they build an offense for Mac Jones, and then that doesn't work as well for Bailey Zappe. If you follow me,
I just think that's. I don't know.
You should be able to make it work for both.
Jumping through too many hoops for a young kid that felt like he was on.
Here's the thing about it. And here's where you can put it on the coaching. Because at one point, Josh McDaniels made his offense work for Tom Brady and then 2 weeks later for Jacoby Brissett on the fly, I think, going into a Thursday night game. So there is a way to do it, and I think that's where you can put it.
I thought you were going to say that, maybe Joe Judge and Matt Patricia did a better job last year than they got credit for. You said they simplified the offense.
Clearly, they weren't as much of the problem. But clearly, we put everything on those two.
Right.
Clearly, we put everything on those two. Yeah. And we talked 6 months ago as if Bill O'Brien was going to come in here and wave a magic wand and it was all going to be gone. So I'm not saying those guys were great at being offensive coaches, but clearly the problem was much bigger than those two.
Still trailing. It's November. It's November, y'all. It's still trailing the Matt Patricia, Joe Judge offense.